Big scary gravity, the big scary institutions with all their fucking brown beating and their appeals to authority. Bollocks, this is what I'm talking about. Take control of yourself. Commit. Stand up for yourself. Commit. Stand up for yourself. Have a no-nonsense approach. Commit. Stand up for yourself. Commit. Stand up for yourself. Have a no-nonsense approach. Oh, I've got a fucking big BMX that can fly. Show me a big BMX that can fly. Canny, you're a fucking bullshitting lying piece of shit, fuck off. Oh, I've got a Ferrari that goes 240 miles an hour. And I've got a summer house in Spain. Show me. Canny, fuck off. You're a liar. Oh, I've got this potato rock with gas and water stuck through it that's inside a vacuum and it all just stays here because of magic stuff. Show me it. Canny. Fuck off. You're a liar. Show me it. Canny. Fuck off. Like you did when you were a child. Commit. Stand up for yourself. Commit. Stand up for yourself. Have a no-nonsense approach. Commit. Stand up for yourself. Commit. Stand up for yourself. Have a no-nonsense approach. And here's a picture of fucking a duck's nose. Black clothes and stuff, black clothes and stuff. And here's a picture of fucking a duck's nose. Black clothes and stuff, black clothes and stuff. Show me it. Canny. Fuck off. Show me it, Canny. Fuck off. Liar. Fuck off. Let's all conform. Let's all conform and behave like good little children. Do not escape from your box. Conform to the social norm. Conform like a politician. Conform to the social norm. Conform like a politician. Yes. Brenda, we're just on 2 seconds now. Fuck off. We don't want you or your other road disciples to go and take a running fuck to yourself, okay? Take it and ram it right up your hoop. That's up, hold on. I just listened to a wee bit of that Alex Jones thing there. It's people just fucking annoy me, honestly. Honesty, fuck. It always brings me back to this constantly. I spoke about this at the beginning of this whole thing. There was a concern for me that, you know, the whole thing's going to be rolled out and that, you know, there's going to be pre-selected idols and certain personalities that will get pushed forward. And real genuine people will never be there. You know, the whole thing's going to be corralled into whatever narrative. So again, it's hugely important, I think, that people just keep discerning. Don't fall into the trap of waiting for an idol or what the governments or, you know, certain groups are going to achieve or whatever, because as long as people are still in the mindset of looking to exterior groups, you know, that's always going to be, you know, contained and controlled. It's so difficult, this whole thing. We live in amongst each other, and trying to establish, you know, true anarchy is a really difficult fucking thing to achieve. So you've always got to be cautious, because people want to follow. People like to be led. The majority of people are too lazy. They don't have the capacity to resolve and get to the real stance, in my opinion, that should be true anarchy. You know, each individual should be a totally, fully empowered, you know, independent, self-sufficient being. We're sold dependency, you know, societies, groupthink, you know, family units, and it kind of ties you into that way of thinking, you know, and unfortunately, the majority of people right now, even involved in the truth communities, are just the very fucking same, you know. We're just waiting for somebody else to, you know, pull the curtain down and reveal to them whatever the next era is going to be. And I'm deeply fucking suspicious of any of that. I will be airing caution Um, so I'm not even going to bother with the usual intros. As I say, I don't even know if I'll leave this up.
Any reason to I was a huge NASA fan. I mean, I had all the books, the collectible books. I even have an Amiga Speedmaster watch that I bought. It cost me 3 months' salary, that watch, because it was the first and only watch worn on the moon.
Yeah.
It all rings very hollow with me now. I feel like I was a complete sucker.
I suppose.
Because and this, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually starting to wonder now of the validity of space at all, especially in view of what I know you've touched on this, about this whole business of the atmosphere and the infinite void of space, side by side. You know, that's not.
It's contrary. It's contrary. It's contrary to your experience.
Think of it. It's ridiculous.
Of course, so that's the simplicity. But sometimes with these things, it's not until it's pointed out. You know, again, it's, as I was stating earlier, it's contrary to your experience and your practicality of everyday living. These stories and narratives that you're telling you are totally absurd to how you experience reality. And that's just how it goes. It's the same, you know. You've seen these images all through your life, and it's not until somebody says to you, well, like, I always show people, you know, hyper realistic paintings and drawings, and then I'll cut to the globe, and you can see it in people like,
oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
It's not until it's pointed out to you, you go, oh, that's a cartoon, and then you start searching. Was there a real photograph? Is there something that I can? And there's nothing. It's not there.
No, but that's, I mean, it's hypnotism. Sorry, go on.
It's just like being in a hypnotic trance. It's not until somebody snaps you and says, hold on, that's not actually an apple you're eating there, it's a potato. You know, oh fuck.
But this is exactly what's happened to me. I feel like I've just been wandering through life in a trance, and I consider myself to be a reasonably intelligent person. You know, I'm not easily fooled. But the more I progress into this, the more I start to think, why the hell didn't I have any doubt about that at all? I feel sometimes completely stupid. So anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm here now, and I've started to ask the questions, and you know, I'm going on to YouTube quite a lot, and as I said to you last time, it's the first thing I think about when I wake up, and the last thing I think about before I go to bed at night, and I lay awake thinking about it. I've been known to get up in the early hours of the morning, put my clothes on, and go walking around because I just cannot get this shit out of my head.
Well, that's part of the process, my man. I've been there. It seems like a lifetime ago, but I remember it well. You know.
Yeah. Well. You know, it's frustrating because as I said to you before, in my day-to-day life, I haven't got anyone really that I can talk to about this. So you know, it's having someone like you as a bit of a sounding board, if you like, is very good for me, and I really appreciate being able to do this. As I said, you know, I'm just really at the inquiring stage, but I'm finding it's not standing up to scrutiny. But of course, I don't have the scientific background, I don't have the scientific knowledge, and this I can. Even though you put my mind to us a little bit last time by saying, you know, you're entitled to an opinion, but I still find it frustrating that if I try, as I have done in the past, to sort of put a point forward, I'm just bombarded with all this kind of jargon.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand.
Yeah.
You really have to.
Yeah, it's an aspect. It's called gish galloping. They'll just swamp you and swarm you with loads of points that appear on the surface to have some sort of relevance, and that's part of the tactic. It's known as gish gallop, to swarm somebody with so many different points that it just drowns you, you know, and makes you, you know, confused and disorientated. But it's just part and parcel of their garb. That's their tactics, you know.
Well, I have recently called someone out. I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Mick West. Yeah. He's made a career out of debunking all sorts of quote conspiracy theories, and he's very big on flat Earth. You know, he's got this Metabunks. I'm advertising him now. I shouldn't be really, but
He's a fun.
He's got this site which you know, he's a very well spoken, very intelligent guy. I can see that. But he's just done this video, and I didn't watch a lot of it, but he's looking into the possibility of extraterrestrials. So I just put it to him in the comment section, and he did, to give him his credit, he did actually answer me. And I said, look, you've made a career out of debunking conspiracy theories, quote conspiracy theories, due to a lack of evidence. Could you please give me your evidence for extraterrestrials, which is something you believe in? And he kind of petered out on that. He didn't really commit to giving me an answer. So, you know, it's all right for him, without any evidence at all, to believe in extraterrestrial aliens visiting UFOs, whatever, all that, which I used to believe in. I'm afraid I don't anymore. But you know, it's breathtaking hypocrisy, and I called him out on it.
Yeah, good. Mick West's just another one of these morons that's there to gatekeep mainstream narratives. You know, as I say, I've been here for years with an open platform, actively inviting any of these people, and guys like Mick West just run a mile. The only thing they'll do is they'll make echo chamber hit piece videos and propaganda pieces, and put it out there using, you know, fallacious reasoning, fallacious logic, sophistry, you know, gish gallop, all the traits of deception. Guys like Mick West are no intellectually honest. They'll never step up to the mark and address any of the points being made by people like myself, you know. So
no,
I mean,
and it goes back to what I said to you last time. If this is all nonsense, if we all have got a mental illness and we're all lunatics, why are these people dedicating so much of their time into trying to debunk people like yourself and various other people?
Well, that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. If you're going to that much trouble, that just tells me you're taking it seriously enough to dedicate hours and hours and hours of your time to diverting people's attention away from it.
Yep.
It's all very suspicious in my eyes.
That's it. I mean, you'll never find a endless amounts of videos of Loch Ness monster debunkings. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point.
So
yeah. Although interestingly, I don't know if you've noticed, but aliens and outer space is very prominent at the moment in the media.
Yeah.
You know, again, I mean, you know, let's be honest. I mean, alien UFOs is a conspiracy theory. If you believe in alien UFOs, then you believe in a conspiracy theory because you believe in NASA cover-up. Exactly as we might suggest, NASA and government cover-up. But it seems to be socially acceptable now. There was a time I can remember when I first got into this where anything on the mainstream media to do with UFOs and aliens was treated with contempt and was just joked about. But nowadays that's turned around for some reason. You've got documentaries called Ancient Aliens, and you know, space films and alien films, and it all seems to be geared towards getting us to embrace outer space.
Yeah,
that's the impression I get.
Yeah. Aye, well, there's a few different possibilities that I've contemplated with that kind of stuff. You know, it could be the get out clause to distract everybody, you know, with contact. It could also just be to subvert the possibility that there is other beings or other entities. I mean, once you get so far into this, you realise you're in a construct here. You realise that this experience that you're having is a design, it's a creation. So, you know, to rule out the possibility of other types of life forms is a bit, you know, naive and stupid. I would never do that on my part. But, you know, listening to their crap, you know, for me, I'm always suspicious that they're going to use it as a diversionary tactic, you know, and staging some thing or whatever it may be, or who knows, you know. But I've not seen anything so far that's substantial enough for me to accept that there's other types of life.
No, I mean, if we start getting into the Earth, not being what it seems, what we're being told it is, and we're looking at the possibility of it being more than what we're told it is, possibly. I mean, yeah, the mind just goes mad with it, with this stuff.
Of course it is.
And you start to think, well, what is out there?
Yeah.
You know, is there something being kept from us? Yeah, I mean, you know, perhaps there are other life forms. Perhaps we're one of many sort of plots on a vast landscape, millions of miles.
The other aspect that people overlook all the time is that maybe we are in some sort of containment that's impenetrable, and these groups or these people have taken the choice not to inform us of that because you know, how would the human being actually react if it was revealed to everybody that we were in some sort of construct that was impenetrable and that we couldn't get out of it and we didn't know what was beyond it? What would the psychological and emotional reaction of the general populace be to that?
I would suggest possibly panic.
Yeah.
Certainly, you know, this is one of the first questions I asked. You know, I mean, come on, if the Earth was flat, why bother hiding it? Why not just come clean and say, well, you know, we live on a flat plane, flat motionless plane, life would carry on as normal. But actually, it probably wouldn't, because human beings, being what we are naturally inquisitive. And there would be, if we were told that, you know, one of the first questions you get asked in this debate is, "Well, show me the edge." So people, that's what people want to see, is where are the boundaries.
Yeah.
So if we were told this was our reality, and we would live, well, the first thing people are going to do is there'd be massive expeditions to go and find the edge.
Yeah.
Because that is just human nature to you know, like the first thing I think is the rodents do in a cage is they want to find out where the barrier is.
Exactly. Exactly, but the thing about the majority of animals is when they find the boundary, they're just going to accept the confines that they're in. Where a human being is not going to do that, which is why the globe plays such a good role, because it's so finite and you're millions and millions of miles to anything else. So people are not going to have that curiosity to explore. You know, psychologically, you can see the mechanism that it's a useful tool to stifle the will for people to go and explore further. Does that make sense to you? You know?
That makes a lot of sense. So that kind of answered that question for me. Well, in fact, I kind of answered it for myself. I mean, I just thought about it, and I thought what I would want to know if I was given that information, and I would straight away want to know, well, where's the edge? I've got to find this. I need to know what are there other lands that I'm not being told about? We need to explore this. Yeah. So it would be catastrophic, I think, to reveal any information like that to us, because we would just go on the rampage. Human beings are like that. We are explorers by nature.
If any farmer takes the fence down, his cattle's going to spread out and go in all sorts of directions. You know? And then that's it. Game over for the farmer.
Yeah. So just to touch on I was watching a very interesting one of your videos where you go to the university and you chat to students, and you had these two guys, nice guys, and you were talking about the water bending, and you know, how is that possible? Water finds its level, and I was sitting there and I was waiting for the word. I knew the word was coming. I thought any minute now, because these guys were intelligent guys. You know, I think they were. One of them couldn't speak English very well, the other one did, and I think they had a scientific background. Any minute, any second now, and sure enough, gravity. Don't forget the effect of gravity. And I knew that was coming.
Why do you think that Truman has never come close to discovering the true nature of his world until now?
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented.
Earth, 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 Earth. Yep. Earth, Earth. Yep. Oh. Earth.
If you start here and you go around long enough in the same direction, you wind up in the place you started from. Yes, Thomas.
Why don't we fall off when we walk underneath, Miss Sarah?
Because of a force called gravity.
What does gravity look like?
Gravity is something we can't see, but we know it's a great invisible force that keeps us all here on Earth. It's a natural force that keeps us all from flying off into space.
We were always told that the world is flat.
You were told right. Don't listen to her. I've been patient with you, Sarah. Lord knows I've been patient. But now your words have revealed you.
The law of gravity was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton in 1687. That's almost 200 years ago, Uncle Evan.
But there is only one law. The law of God.
What is gravity?
You have no idea. Okay, next question.
Wow.
No, here's the difference. We can describe gravity. We can say what it does to other things. We can measure it, predict with it. But when you start asking, like, what it is, I don't know. Einstein, in an Einsteinian answer, we would say gravity is the curvature of space and time. And objects will follow the curvature of space-time, and we interpret that as a force of gravity. That's probably the best answer I can give to a what is gravity question, or why is there gravity. That's the best I can do there. I think that's a good start.
I knew that was coming, and I had such a smile on my face when he said that, because that is the default, isn't it? That is anything that cannot be explained any other way.
Gravity
it's
of the
the
gaps.
magic of gravity.
That's it. It's gravity of the gaps. You know?
Yeah.
Just utilize it for anything. It can achieve anything you like. You know.
Yeah. But that was my. As I said to you last time, that was my big thing with this. That's what actually drew me in was this business with liquid, and I feel I need to correct myself in one sense, because one guy when I was commenting did put me right on one thing. He said, "No, water does curve. That's what waves are. Obviously, waves and swells and surf and all that. But the point is, if you're standing on the seashore watching the waves coming, they'll be curved. But what do waves do as soon as they hit the shore? They flatten out. It's the natural physics of water to find its level.
It's part of the sophistry. It's part of people's disingenuous behaviours. You know, where they'll say, "Oh, a lot of raindrops round and this, that, and the other," and as you say, waves and swells. And I'm like, no. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the body of water as a whole, you know.
I want to hear the other side of the argument. You know, I want to hear it from. I want to know that the person I'm talking to isn't googling and copying and pasting crap, you know, that they've looked at. I want to see if these people have their own thoughts.
Go online and check the best proofs that the Earth's a globe. And all you'll ever find is the same old crap. The sun, the moon, the stars, Eratosthenes, you know, everything apart from measurable curvature or practical demonstrations or practical references for any of the physics that they're claiming. You will never find anything. They only have superficial stuff that appears to the gullible to be relevant or justifiable. Anybody that's discerning can see that it's just nonsense. It's just rhetorical crap. You know, it's all based on. It's based on visible. You know, there's two geometries. I don't know if we spoke about this the last time. I don't know if you've got this far, but you look through the world with your eyes, which are curved lenses. So you've got two spheres in your eyes. Now that geometry you could look at as being spherical, right? The other geometry is the actual world that you move around in three dimensions. That's established and treated as a level plane. That's a fact. That's what we assume. That's the geometry we assume, and that's we apply to every aspect of practical living. But what the globe has done is it's taken visible geometry and tried to superimpose it over tangible geometry. So everything that they talk about is based on vision. It's not quantifiable. They don't talk about the eye and how it actually works because they don't actually know fully how it works. But they'll keep utilising like visible proof. Oh, the boat goes over the curve of the earth. Oh, look up here at the sun, the moon and the stars. It's all looking, it's all visible. It's no...
No, there's numerous films on YouTube where people are improving the curvature from the window of an aeroplane, and they're putting a straight line on it, and yeah, okay, it appears to be curved slightly.
But that's not a measurable, quantifiable proof. That's a visible phenomena. Are they articulating to you how the optical device and how the eye actually works? Because it's all curved, it's all round lenses, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the point. They don't, because they're not going to factor it in because they know it's hugely relevant. But here's a thing that a test you can do for yourself. Don't look through a window. Go to a beach, like I can do it in the west coast of Scotland here, that I've done many, many times before. There's two land masses that are a distance of 28 miles between each other, right? So I can see the ocean line between the two land masses. Now I can put my straight edge up to that line. Now the spherical geometry, or the measurement of the curvature, dictates that over 28 miles there should be 350 feet of deviation from one point to the other. Now my straight edge shows that there is no deviation from one landmass to the other landmass.
That's really interesting. That's something I'm going to have to, because I live quite near the sea as well. I'm going to have to try and find a spot to prove that for myself, because presumably if you're looking out to sea over that sort of distance, 20 miles, somebody at the other end observing the ship sailing away will still see that ship disappearing from the hull upward.
Well, this is the thing. They only ever focus on straight out observation because there's a limitation to the angle of light that can get to your eye, right? But if you do this, I've said this so many times before, take an equilateral triangle. So you're observer A looking at this ship apparently going over the curvature of the Earth. At point C in an equilateral triangle, so this other observer has you in sight and it has this boat in sight. So that person should be able to put a straight edge up between you and the boat and see a deviation in elevation from you to the boat using the straight edge. It doesn't exist, it's not there. They only play on optical phenomena straight out in front of you because of how the eye, receives light, the angle that's coming to your eye. That's what they're playing on.
Yeah, and I've come across a video. You've probably seen it. I know it's done the rounds, but it's Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's talking about the Red Bull jump, which took place from about 24 miles elevation, something like that. And he makes a very big deal out of pointing out, quite rightly, that what you're seeing there is the effect of wide-angle lenses curving horizontal lines. It's not the curvature of the Earth. So that's the last person I expected to hear that from. To be honest with you.
But at the same time, Neil deGrasse Tyson's going to tell you that their ship's going over the curve of the Earth at 12 miles. But just as I've said, well, it must be there from left to right. If I can put a straight edge up between two land masses over 20 miles, then there should be 350 feet of deviation from that point to that point. You should be able to see the Earth dipping under your spirit level.
That's got me thinking. Actually, I never thought about it. Of course, if you can find a stretch of ocean wide enough, wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's got to have that amount of curvature.
Of course.
So that's mind boggling. That's just done my head in. I'm going to be out on the seafront.
Go and do it. Satisfy your curiosity, and you'll find the exact same as I found. And then you'll start to realise that the only thing they focus on is straight in front of you observation. That's their deviousness. That's sneaky.
Wow. Yeah. So I'm a bit speechless now. Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, thanks for that little pointer. But yeah, just finally with this business of the atmosphere, the pressurized atmosphere on Earth, how do you explain to people? I mean, what the thing I keep on hearing is, what's it called? That gradients. That's it. Yeah. That's what I keep getting, and I don't understand what that means. Pressure gradient.
Well, it's simple. I'll help you to understand it, right? Say we've got a set of scales here right now, okay? And we've got a tower of feathers, okay? Now we put that tower of feathers onto the scale, right? Now that scale has to be super sensitive and calibrated to know the full depth of the tower of feathers, right? So when the scales are at the bottom of the tower of feathers, it's going to give me a reading of, say, 20 kilograms, okay? Now if I then take my scales and I bring them to the top and I lift one feather and I put the scales there and then I put the feather back down on top of it, the scales are probably going to read nothing. Because what they're talking about is a mass, a column of mass, right? Because air has mass to it. So when we're down here, we're under a column of sheer mass. Like if you go to the swimming pool, you'll understand it this way. If you go to a swimming pool and you dive downwards, you feel the increase in pressure.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if I take a cubic, meter of water, area at the top of that body of water, and the same at the bottom, right? There's less pressure up here than there is down here, but that doesn't mean that there's less water than there is at the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I do.
So there's still water here. It's just that I'm under less amount, so there's less pressure bearing down on me.
Yeah.
But
what you're saying, I mean,
they're trying to make you imagine a kind of tapering of more and less, and then it slowly dissipates like a tapered, nonsense.
Yeah, because even low pressure is still pressure. It still has to be contained.
Of course it is. There's still air up there.
Yeah.
It's just that it's a different... You go up a mountain, there's people that live at high altitudes, like 16,000 feet, who are accustomed to living in that pressure, so they breathe easy. But if you were to go up there, you would take time to adjust, But then it gets to a certain point because of how your body is and how it's calibrated that you probably wouldn't survive because you can't deal with that lower pressure.
Yeah.
But there's still air. There's still air up there.
Yeah. No, that's very well explained. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Okay, well, once again, thank you very much for your time, Dale. We enjoyed the chat.
Get the test done and let us know.
Yeah, I shall continue my journey. Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers,
Gotta go.
Cheers,
all the best.
Take it easy.
Cheers.
That's it, Cynthia. You look at life, you look at biological life, everything pushes outwards from a central point. Everything does that and it builds it in layers. So reality for me is like lattices, vertical and horizontal lattices. Everything's building in layers, pushing outwards from a central point. The heliocentric push has just reversed that. Oh, everything's pulled towards central points with the pulley forces and all that shite. No, everything pushes outward from a central point and it builds in layers to push into this medium, whatever it is. That's what happens with life. And even non-biological stuff, it's even structured like that, in layers. You can see it, the crystalline structure of things, and things having a cleavage, where things can be cleaved because it's all built on layers, lattices. Look at anything in life, any biological life, starts from a central point and it pushes out in every direction into the medium. What's happening? It's not a debate.
It's not a debate. It's not a debate. Get to fuck. Go to fuck yourself. You stupid spineless goon.
Do you fancy
You're a
me?
spineless goon. You're a spineless goon.
You want me to accept you, but
Get your fuck, you spineless goon. You spineless fucking goon. You've got nothing down.
You're not even funny. Brian, I've got loads because people like you are
fucking complete, and that's an idiot.
I've got loads, Brian. People like you are here dancing for me all the time, son. Look at the state of you. I've got plenty. I am a huge fucking threat, which is why you're here. So shut up. away you go and make wee memes and fantasise over me. Right? Crackpot ye. Just can't help herself. You know, if this was a man pushing himself onto a woman, it would be considered, you know, naughty. No means no. Okay? Have you not seen the adverts, Bri? No means no. You're going to end up getting castrated or something. Right? If you don't pay attention. Understand the social boundaries. No means no. Doesn't mean whatever you think you want it to mean. You have to respect others, Bri, and the likes of you. When I say no, I mean no. I don't want your advances. If you're obsessed and infatuated with me, it's not my problem. It's not my fault. Have some self-control. They're all a mess, Shelley. They're all a mess. They're desperate.
I remember when I lost my mind. There's something about that place. Even your emotions have let go in so much space. When you're out there without care, it's out of touch. Not even because I didn't learn it. Just knew too much. Can't let me crazy. Make me crazy, make me crazy. Possibly, love that you have in time of your life, and try to only rise. Come on now, who you think you are? Bless your soul. You really think you're in control? Well, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Just like me. Ever since I was alone, ever since I was alone, it died fun. Love, now it's all it's after. And I'll die when I'm done.